NIJ is an online platform launched by Bluecraft Digital Foundation, a think tank in public policy. NIJ looks at topics that impact the country from the perspective of youth and highlights the change makers who are bringing in new ideas and innovations. The NIJ National College Debate Series is a part of the channel that aims to engage the youth, like you, in serious topics in a fun and enabling manner. We have with us here today Ms. Priyanka Deo, a recent postgraduate of the Harvard University, who anchors New India Junction and heads the NIJ platform for Bluecraft. Can we have a big round of applause for Ms. Priyanka? Ms. Priyanka was a national policy debate champion in the United States. She also holds degrees from the London School of Economics, the University of Southern California, and University of Illinois. Ma'am, we are indeed fortunate to have you with us today and are looking forward to an exciting debate. I would now like to invite Ms. Priyanka on stage and hand the session over to her. All the best to all the participants.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm looking at so many young faces, and over 60% of India's demographic is now under the age of 35 years old. We have a young and vibrant country, and the point of New India Junction is that it's a platform where all of you can voice your opinion and have it be heard. We're an online YouTube channel, and I don't want to take up too much time from the debaters because they're getting very antsy to come up on stage. So I would like to announce our debaters. Before I do that, I just want to go over the format of our debate. It's a mini policy debate. We have a proposition side and an opposition side talking about higher education and its impact on India. The format of the debate is as follows. Every speaker is going to have 5 minutes solo to state his point of view or her point of view. We'll have the proposition and opposition open on whether higher education is good or bad and whether the future of it is good or bad for our country. We'll have our second set of speakers, both from proposition and opposition, answer back arguments for 5 minutes, and then we'll have a rebuttal speech. In between these speeches, we'll have a cross-examination moderated by me, and then if the debaters want to ask any clarifying questions amongst themselves, they can do so. So, with all that being said, it's way too quiet in here. I think our debaters need some support, so a round of support for our debaters. Round of applause. Our proposition side today consists of Vikas Shrikant Shinde, and Ankita Rotangan. Our opposition side today consists of Sejal, Kamble, Nishant, Athawale, and Diksha, Koul. Alright, I think we're ready for our first speeches, correct? So can I have the first proposition speaker, Mr. Vikas Nama?
So, let me tell you the first fact that India education is the third largest position right now in terms of quality quantity. The first scheme reorganized by the government is Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao. In this is a personal campaign run by the government, aims to generate awareness that Indian sex ratio should increase by the female population. Only aim was that we should educate more of female child. So funding was 100 crores, launched in 2015, 22nd January. The second scheme was RUSA, that is Rashtriya Ucha Shiksha Abhiyan. Let me tell you what it is. Launched in 2013, aimed at funding to the eligible higher education institutes which are not present in the backward education districts. So the scheme goes like 60-40 for general category states and 90-10 for special category states and 100% funding for the union territory states. The third was to establish new central universities. Under the Act of Central University Act 2009, 15 June 2009 established, the Indian government has initiated to build 16 central universities where the districts don't have central universities. For example, Mumbai University, Pune University, as we can point the higher university. and they have started 374 colleges under these universities. The fourth was UGC at the UGC University Grant Commission has released official notification for first amendment for the higher education for PhD admission. The scheme was to lower the 5% criteria, that is from 50% to 45%. That gives a motivation for the special backward classes to get higher education for the society and for themselves. As we can see the literacy rate over a period above, this literacy rate has been updated every 10 years. So the first literacy rate is 1981 was 43.57. The second was 1991 for 52.52%. The third was 2001 for 64.83%. The recent is 2011, that is 74.04. As you can see, the literacy rate is going higher and higher. That means government is taking some initiatives for the higher education. Prakash Javadekar, who is the HRD minister, appointed panel for national education policy to improve higher education. That has been, the panel was set in March 2018. The first framed panel was in 1986. Then it was revised in 1992. The final panel was set up in March 2018 for 300 million students. Can you guess? 300 million students. We are having a figure of 300 million students who are gaining the higher education. The shocking fact we know is that India itself has developed swayam.gov.in. Swayam.gov.in is initiative by the government of India providing online education. Nowadays we are like online education, we don't give any importance to it. But the Indian government is already has been initiated with it. The website says that you will get from diploma level courses, from PhD level courses, including all pharmacy, geology, agriculture, master's degree, everything. And you will get a certificate results recognized by the Indian government. The next mission was to develop the inner skill of the students. The National Skill Development Mission set up in 2015 by the Modi government. As you can see, the Symbiosis Skills College, which you can see on the expressway. That the initiative was to remove your inner skills and you can develop on it, getting the higher education. So these are the various initiatives taken by the Indian government, and we can say yes, India government is taking many more initiatives in future for future generation also. Thank you.
Good afternoon, people. I am Sejal Kamble and I am the first speaker to go against the topic. What is education? Education is neither a privilege nor is it a favor. It is but a basic human right that the Constitution of India has bestowed upon us. It is a basic human right that all of us are entitled to. India is a land of 1.3 billion people, out of which 64.4% of the population is youth. That is in the category of 18 to 30 years of age. We will have the greatest youth force in the world, approximately 140 million from up till 2030. India has the third largest universities, and in terms of higher education, we are lagging only behind USA and China. India has almost 800 universities, 33,000 colleges and greater than 20 million students. And yet, only 1 out of 7 children in India get to go to colleges. Where China spends approximately 4.5 to 6% of its GDP on education, we in 2018 have spent only 3.7% of our GDP on education and even more less on higher education. Our gross enrollment ratio stands at one of the lowest with just 25.6, which is much lower than the world average. The literacy rate in India, though increasing, is still just 74% against the world average of 84%. I'll talk about the 4 broad challenges that the Indian higher education system faces. There's a supply and demand gap. There's low rate of enrollment, just 18% as against 26% of the world average. We have low quality of teachers and low quality of learning. There are constraints on research capacity and innovation. Indian government spends less than 1% of their GDP on research. We do not have a research-centric approach towards higher education. There's uneven growth and access to opportunity. You know guys, by 2020, India needs 400 million university places, which is an increase of 14 million from the current stage that we stand at right now. And we'll need 500 million skilled workers by 2030 if we have to rope in the entire youth population and take advantage of the demographic dividend that we are in right now. The major problems that face the higher education in Indian universities is the increasing gap between education and employability. According to the industry standards, just 30% of the graduate youth in India are employable. Such a dismal state of affairs, right? There are many seats that are left vacant every year. Even if we can see a lot of mushrooming colleges in the country, we can see many private institutions coming up, yet only 30% of the graduates are employable. We have the urban-rural divide. We have a lot of disparities. We have interstate disparities where one state of Kerala has the highest literacy rate, while on the other side, Bihar and UP have one of the lowest literacy rates in the country. We have disparities across communities, which is why we are forced to give reservations to certain communities based on religion, which is not a good thing to do. We have disparities across genders. Males are more prominent and females less prominent. We have only 30% of the graduates which are employable, which I've already told. We have the international student ratio at the lowest. We have the lowest number of international students coming and studying in our universities. We have such low tie-ups with foreign universities that we cannot allow these students to come and study in our universities. We have the big plague problem of reservation. Reservation is something that the higher education in India needs to be done with. We have multiple regulators in the higher education industry. We have AICTE, we have UGC, we have CIMA, and all the other regulators, making it even a more complex state of affairs. Even though now we have the Higher Education Commission of India Bill of 2018, it has yet not been passed. It is still stranded in the Sabha. You know why? Because this bill tends to replace the UGC with some other autonomous body, and the promise of the Modi government that there will be education for all, this step of the Higher Education Commission of India bill is a step towards in that direction. Yes, and so I again repeat that we have a long way to go when it comes to increasing the state of affairs in the higher education of India. We have done a lot, but then we have a long way to go. We have such a huge demographic dividend to take care of, and at the stage at which we are allocating the funds, or at which we are progressing, I feel we have a long way to go when it comes to the state of increasing or improving the state of higher education in India. Thank you.
Now we're going into cross-examination. One of the questions that I have for the Speaker of Opposition, Sejal, you mentioned that 18%, there's an 18% applicant rate to universities. Can you clarify whether that is higher education or whether that is undergrad?
So ma'am, the gross enrollment ratio is for the entire education industry, it's not just specific to higher education.
The entire, okay. So then the follow-up question to that is, do you feel that government schemes are the way to go in terms of getting this rate to be higher?
Ma'am, there have been a lot of schemes in...
Can everyone hear her? Okay, great.
So there's a lot of schemes that have been initiated, but then what we lag is in implementation. On groundwork, these schemes will take a lot of time to show results, and yet we are lagging a lot when we have the amount of funds that we allocate to the universities, which is abysmally low. We do not have a research-centric approach on which I think the government should take initiatives upon.
Okay, thank you, Sejal. Speaker of Proposition, I have a question for you, and any one of you can answer. When you say that online education is a great platform, what do you feel in terms of online education is great, right? But you do need somebody to teach that course to you. So in terms of a scheme that promotes online education, how can it be implemented in areas that perhaps need it most, like rural areas?
So we can see that the internet is all over, and it is increasing. Internet is all over, and it is increasing the network day by day. As you can see, the present literacy rate is 74%. That has been increased from the earlier point is 43.51. So we increased, and the areas where there are no higher education colleges, we can introduce this government website called swayam.gov.in, where they can sit at one place and they can educate themselves. So yes, we can promote this online education as well, where we don't have colleges of higher education.
Okay, thank you. Do the speakers have any questions for each other before the next set of speakers go?
My question is for you. You said that there are skill sets. The government is doing something to increase the skill set. Can you actually equate skill sets to higher education? Skill sets are simply there to get you a job. Whereas when we talk about higher education, we're talking about knowledge, innovation, a lot of research happening. So how can you equate skills to higher education?
Skill education means not only for you can go with commerce, science, or pharmacy or biology. Skill education also means all of the profession that exist in the world. Salon is also one profession. Chef in the hotel is also one profession, and the swimmer is also one professional who coaches. The gymmer is also one professional. All these skills is a professional. The skills which I spoke is, for example, what I am speaking. To motivate this, government has took initiative to enhance the skills of the students and equate to the higher education and give the certificates and degree for this higher education.
I will start by defending arguments starting from the GDP expenditure. My friend Sejal has told that India is spending only 3.7% of GDP on higher education. I want to correct that number has been revised by recent Union budget by 4%, and according to YSR Subramaniam Committee, India is planning to increase to 6%. So Modi government is taking a positive action towards that. Second one, she told that the gross enrollment ratio in 2010-11 in India was 19.4 students enrolled in higher education courses, but in 2015-16 the gross enrollment ratio 16-17 gross enrollment ratio increased to 25.2%. So it is increased by nearly 30%. Third thing, my friend told that uneven growth and employability. So government has structured a national institutional ranking framework in 2016. So this framework is used for improve campus placements, and central government universities financially make central government and private universities financially accountable to the government by using performance linked funding mechanism. That is, if your university is not performing well, it is not giving placement, the funding will be decreased. So every university has to perform. Third one is disparity. The disparity, as we know, the disparity for my initial speaker who initiated this debate has told that government has launched Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Yojana to decrease the disparity amongst people, because it is a very effective step to reduce the disparity. For employability, India has introduced the National Board of Skill Assessment and Certification, NBSSC, that is for increased employability. While my colleague was talking about skills, skills are not only a certificate or ITI level course. Skill is a MBA professional practicing selling skill is a skill. A analytical professor pursuing a business analytical skills is a skill. Skill can be of engineering, can be of artistic in nature. Skills are of different from different domains. One thing, reservation. She told that reservation should be removed, but I will strongly oppose that move. That Modi government is trying to promote equal opportunity for education for backward class. Like she told that she want to elevate disparity. How can we elevate it despite of not taking any corrective action to this disparity? It is a more of a thing that private colleges are hiring, charging too much fees. But government has told that in India teaching cost per student per month is a 15 rupees. In foreign universities it costs 20,000 per month per student. So government also promised graded autonomy, because she has told that University Grant Commission and AICT, there is a lot of red tapeism over there. So government also planning to offer a graded autonomy to certain institutes. For that, National Assessment and Accreditation Council (NAC) committee will grade the institutes and university based on their infrastructure, their facility, qualification of professors. If tier 1 university have to qualify, then it have to score above 3.5 on 5-point scale. And if tier 2 university has to qualify, then it have to score 3.0 to 3.4 on that 5-point scale of accreditation. Some more points I want to explain. That Indian government has allowed foreign universities to set up operations to remove non-profit clause from FDI in education. Third one is more center of excellences has been set. The government is planning to establish 20 more universities that are possessing capability of world-class education. They will compete at the global level for India. The largest tax rebates are government offering for education loan, so that many of the poor students or we don't have financially sound background can enroll to the higher education. So it is, despite of we are slow moving elephant, but I want to say the word, we are coming.
I am going to speak about some ground realities which our generation is facing right now. The government has initiated so many schemes for post-graduation and all that thing, but still the ground reality is completely different. The banks are not providing the education loans because they have so many rules and regulations for that. And banks are not providing the B-grade colleges, even though they are providing the degree, but the quality of education is not employably, which is saying by the corporates. The corporates are saying that the only 30% of the postgraduate students are eligible for work in their company, as my friend Sejal has already said. And the low quality of technology implemented in the education is very less. First of all, there are a lot of technologies changing in the world, but the implementation in the education system is very less. Only the projectors and all that things are used. But there are different technologies like the AI, and they are implementing in other schools and colleges. But in India, it's not there. And the third point is the research capacity in India. Only the 1% of the total GDP is given to the research institute to do research. In management colleges, it is even lesser. The incubator centers to build up this young entrepreneur is very less. And the fourth thing is that the gender disparity. If you take any in management college or any other technical background, the gender disparity is very much. Even if you take in engineering colleges, in mechanical background, there are so many less. What you can say, the female students are coming there because it is male dominated that the people are thinking, and the parents are not also allowing their girls to go there and study the mechanical engineering. But the scenario is changing. The government is providing the various schemes, but it is not implemented. And the fourth thing is that no tie-up with the foreign institute, because the other countries are doing that. So the foreign technology can be integrated to their home technology and something good will happen. And the exchange programs in Indian Institute, they are not offering that. It is a most basic and important that the US students should get the foreign exposure and they can travel the other countries and what kind of techniques and what kind of they are using it to improve their education system and how they are using it in their businesses, because we are in a business school and we need to learn that how the technology is working there. And the last thing is, I want to say that the engineering is one of the biggest incubator of the education system, because the mushroom growth of the engineering college is a vast, because anyone who's having the money can open an engineering college, but the quality of education in that college is very less. The employability is about 5% of in that colleges, and the company have to take those students from college and teach them for at least 6 months to get at that level of which can they produce the results. But still, that is a disparity between the corporates and the education system. There should be some correct between those two things, and so that the education system can be improved by incorporating the corporates and whatever the institute are working in this sector. But these things are not happening on the ground. The Modi government is saying that we would do all these things in next 4 years, but the term of this government is going to end now. In 2019 there are elections, as all of us know, but still these implementation are not happening. And after that, these things should be implemented much before. Even our education system is running on 2000, the portfolio of 2000, and it is not getting updated yearly. The government are saying that we would do that, but the ground reality is totally different. So by saying this, I will conclude myself. Thank you.
As you said that the GR has been increasing, but we cannot see any Indian university surfacing on the Times World University Rankings or even the QS World University Rankings. There are hardly 3 universities on such World University Ranking forums that surface, as against 22 universities from China. Why do you think is that the state of affairs?
First of all, GER is concerned for nation as a whole. It is not for a institute of eminence. First, one thing to clear, GER is increasing enrollment all around the nation. Yeah, it is increased by 30% in last 5 years. Second thing, you told that the only three of our prestigious institutes are only Times World Ranking. Government has taken a corrective action to setting up 20 institutes of eminence, and fully autonomy will be granted to them, like financial, for preparing, updating their curriculum and everything. So government already taken that action. Third one is the government also give a setup and a performance linked grading system for the central universities. So in future there will be more Indian institutes in Times World Ranking.
There's this eminence of institution of eminence tag that is being given by the government. It has been given to the Geo Institute, which we all know is such a huge fiasco. Geo Institute does not even exist for now. How does the government then claim to give the tag of institution of eminence to such an institute which does not exist? How are we to believe that, okay, this government is going to do something constructive for the higher education in the country?
Let me answer. As earlier my friend told that there is gap between corporates and government educational institutes. The government think that what we bring up the corporates itself to the educational system, so we can provide a better and relevant education and skill set to the industry. So Geo Institute, if currently it doesn't exist, but Reliance is coming in educational system, it is a great achievement. I think so. With public-private partnership was fruitful since over the years to our country, and I think it will be more fruitful in coming future.
Since we're talking about the increase of GER, don't you think the increase in the GER is simply because of the increase of the population in India, not due to some efforts put in by the government? And the second thing being, when you're talking about employability, is it sound enough that we are connecting employability and education, whereas education is simply paving ways for more research, for more innovations and employability is more or less about getting the work done. So how can you equate these two things together?
Second, adding to her question, if GER is only about when the child gets enrolled in the school, and I clearly mentioned that only 1 out of 7 children who enroll into the school take up higher education. So how do you justify this increasing GER in context of increasing population, and then why don't this kind of increase in GER result in higher enrollment in higher education?
First thing I want to correct you that GER doesn't mean that enrolling child to the primary education. GER is calculated on higher education for not child. Second thing I want to tell you that at what rate population of India is increasing within a 6 years. Within a 6 years, not that much increase, like 30%. The GER increased by 30%, population might be like 5% or 7% increase. So the 20% gap proves that the enrollment has been increased and awareness of education is spread all over the India.
The GER stats which you are talking about is that 25. It is simply based on tertiary education level. And if we talk about tertiary education level, that is not a big thing. That is, when we talk about a country like India, that comes under your basic human rights, getting an education from the government, like in most of the countries do.
I think we are diverting from topic. The topic is higher education. So there is no point of talking about primary education and human rights.
Let me tell you a little bit about while the teams are prepping. Let's give them some quiet time to prep for their last speeches. But in the meantime, I'd like to tell you a little bit about New India Junction. This is an online YouTube channel. This is primarily what we run, and this college debate series is a national initiative that I had come up with because we want to hear from you. Now, you may not be a debater up here, we only have 6 debaters up here, but we have a team that's fully dedicated to hearing your ideas, your collaborations. We have WhatsApp groups from students across all over the country collaborating and ideating with each other, and we want you guys to get involved. So I know it's really small over here, but if you're taking pictures and videos, do use the hashtag NIJunction. Do subscribe to our channel and please comment, and please, I want to hear from you. I head the channel and I definitely want to hear your ideas, your thoughts, especially of this debate. And it's recorded, so we'll have it up in no time. Also, I think I forgot to say at the beginning of the debate that there will be a winner in this debate. We have anonymous judges across the entire audience, so you don't know who the judges are. So stay tuned for that after.
It is probably true that we are a slow-moving elephant, but it is equally true that with each step forward, we leave behind a deep imprint. This implies that education in India is moving at a slow pace. As mentioned by Vikas, it is 43.51% in 1981, and it has increased to 74.04% in 2011. But this also implies that we are not just concentrating on moving fast or growing the percentage of education in India. We are concentrating in taking education deep into the minds of the people and in the Indian economy. As per the yesterday's news in Economic Times, from next year, engineering and medical aspirants can avail free coaching at government teaching centers for GE entrance, test for IITs, and NEET entrance for medical studies. Around 3,000 such centers across the country will begin registration from 8th of September this year. India's higher education gross enrollment ratio has increased from 18% and is expected to increase up to 30% by 2020. It has currently 26 million students enrolled in higher education. By 2020, India plans to get 800 universities and over 40,000 colleges across the country. Also, talking about why we should win this competition. Obviously, we want to win the competition. Who doesn't like to win, first place? Obviously, we all do like to win. But what is more important to us is to make people like you and me understand and aware that how much efforts our government is taking to increase the higher education percentage in India. We are here graduating and looking for best job opportunities. Why? Because some years back in 1994, Indira With the help of UGC and AICTE, got the affiliation to run this college. Similarly, many colleges have come into existence with the help of the government support. So let us join hands and spread a good word about the higher education in India to motivate the government to do better. Criticizing would do no good towards improvising the system in India. All initiatives by government are definitely workable, and hence they have been taken. Hadn't it been so, we wouldn't have moved at such a fast pace from paper money to digitization. Very soon, we will see the impact of digitization in Indian education by 2030. We are now moving from theoretical to practical and application-based education. 17% of ICICI and CBSE schools have already incorporated digitization in their education system. Also talking about the point that Sejal mentioned, the gap between education and employment, I think every university and college is trying to fill in that gap. Why do we in Indira get to go for industrial visit? Why do we have guest speakers at a college? Definitely to fill in the gap and to understand that what exactly happens in the practical world and what are we studying. The connect has to be developed through these initiatives. To conclude, I would like to state a line said by Shashi Tharoor. 95% of the 12-year-olds across India can read and write. So the future looks good. And as far as the workforce is concerned, if we can get all the other pieces in place, we can turn to the world and say that we are coming. Thank you.
$822 universities, 51,000 colleges, 20 million students. Whooping statistics, aren't they? But what if I tell you, 2/3 of these universities and around 90% of these colleges fall well below the world average, with a 17% enrollment rate compared to the 26% of the world. My dear friend, these are the statistics of Indian higher education for you. Good afternoon, one and everyone. My name is Diksha Koul, and I shall be wrapping up this debate for you all. Beginning at 1000 BC, what did the legacy go when India in 1781 opened one of the first universities, the Calcutta Madrasa? And what happened recently in October 2018 when the British agency QS ranked the IIC at 51st in Asia, which is a drip of 18 places. The Calcutta University to 125th rank and the IIT Roorkee to 93rd rank. Now something is there which we are doing completely wrong, because we are not making any progress. I would like to suggest all these things are happening because we have a lack of academicians. Now you'll ask me why there is a lack of academicians. We usually see in India, like I am completely again and again talking about employability, we do not have a research culture in India. That could be because of a lot of reasons. That could be because of lack of funds, lack of infrastructure, lack of opportunities. But the prime reason is that Indian education system is very linear in nature. We do not believe in putting efforts on specializations. Like many of my colleagues talked about numerous colleges and engineering colleges happening, vocational trainings happening and what not happening. But let me give you statistics. If you talk about these colleges, only 1.3% of these colleges are there which can offer you a PhD course. And if you are talking about post-graduation colleges, there are only 33% colleges which can give you a PG degree. Now since we are talking about colleges, most of us has faced this, how can we forget those deadly cutoffs? If you are talking about so many colleges, this happening in 2030 and that happening in 2030, why are the cutoffs skyrocketing? Why is it going to 100 percentile and why is it going to 98 percentile and why 99? If there are so many colleges, still why are the people so interested in one particular college? It is that the disparity between the standards of the best college and the slightly average college is so huge that the person is not able to, I would say, kind of correlate between the education standards. This, like Ankita quoted about cutoffs and all going, so I would like to tell her that the cutoffs are something we should go lower. We should have more and more education options. Like when we began during independence, there were so many opportunities for higher education. Now we have people who want education, but the institutions are so high that the level of education cannot be imparted to them. Simply opening up IIT coachings and giving them that and this is not the solution. I would say, why not NIT and IIT and other institutes have the same level of education? Then moving on, I would like to talk about the technological levels. we have so many innovative things going on, talking about AI or third dimension and whatnot. Why are these things better used for entertainment rather being used for education? The funds are there, everything is there, but it is not being utilized properly. Now, talking about I would say it's one of the prime causes of India not progressing is that the curriculum. The curriculums across, I would say, diverse, these different kind of, be it commerce, be it science, the curriculums are so obsolete, and the university rules, if we require to change these curriculums, the time taken and the procedure is so cumbersome, by the time whatever the change we are wanting for is implementing, the change itself gets obsolete. So how can this be solved? We can go for autonomous nature of these universities, I would say. Like a lot of universities, IIMs, it has been granted autonomous nature. So that will in a way help to kind of refurbish the curriculum. So in conclusion, I would like to say that higher education is nothing but the integrated development of the personality using the head, the hands and the heart. All in the consolidated approach and the consolidated work of the government policies, the private sector, the academia, the civil society and you and me. All working on three objectives. The objectives being access and inclusion, then equity and expansion, and the third and the most important one being quality and excellence. All need to be implemented in a very time-bound manner. Thank you.
That was an intense session. While our anonymous judges from the audience are tabulating their responses, we would like to mention over here that we are very glad to have with us here our Group Director, IGI, Professor Chetan Vakalkar. A very warm welcome to you, sir. IGI would like to thank Ms. Priyanka Deo and the entire New India Junction crew for coming here and organizing the debate, for giving us the opportunity to interact with each other on the topic of higher education in India. Moreover, we would like to thank all 6 of our debaters. I would like to over here make a special mention that the debaters have had they've had just about 1 or 2 days of preparation time along with their regular classes and exams just like the rest of you. These are the foundations of great leaders. Congratulations to all 6 of you. You are all 6 winners.
That's what everyone was waiting for, the results. And we actually have a little bit of a surprise for you. One of the votes is going to be an audience vote, which we're going to judge by cheering. We already have every other vote in. So now I think I'm going to let your energy levels increase a little bit. Who thinks that the proposition should win this debate? Let's have some applause so we can hear it. Who thinks proposition? And who thinks opposition should win this debate? That's a little tough. Okay, so I think with that being said, the judges have made their decision. It was a 4-1 vote for the proposition. Let's have a round of applause for all of our debaters. We call you up one by one, but we also have a surprise for you. We also judged the best speaker. And the best speaker actually came from the opposition side, Ms. Diksha Koul. So a round of applause for her. That concludes our debate. And with that being said, we want to thank all of you for being here. We want to thank the Indira Group of Institutes for having us here and for organizing all of this. Chetan sir and all the professors here that gave their inputs and put this together. One more round of applause for everyone here.